I'm Ester Martin Bergsmark. I'm a filmmaker from Stockholm and I'm here to present Something Must Break. The film is about Sebastian, who lives a boring everyday life, longing for love and don't know who he is. Then he meets Andreas a night in a park and they became best friends, and then they start to fall in love with each other. But Andreas would never think he would fall in love with a boy, but the boy is not really a boy, it turns out. And Sebastian fights through the film to just be who he is and try to love himself. And it's really a beautiful naked love story about the first summer of love and intimacy and beautiful sex scenes, and they run around, steal stuff. Oh, it's beautiful. Maybe it's a queer love story, because Andrea, it's about Sebastian doesn't really belong in the straight world or the gay world. So Sebastian is constantly trying to just be, he dreams about being a woman, Ellie, but it's also more about finding strength in your femininity, because he's a very feminine boy and everybody is trying to decide who he is, but he never have time, or she never have time to really just be, because everybody has so much preassumptions on who he would be. But it's also a film about finding pleasure, going from pain to pleasure. It's different circles in the film. And Sebastian first have a really linear idea about love and thinks that love will save him from everything. But then in the end he has to start love himself. It sounds easy, but it's a really tough journey. The film premiered in Gothenburg Film Festival, then it was in Rotterdam where it won the Tiger, the first prize, and then it's also been in Tribeca and in Toronto and in Buenos Aires. And it has received quite good and some bad, but a lot of good. Because it's not so similar to Scandinavian cinema, because it's kind of it's not a part of the naturalistic tradition that it's the biggest and I think the dominant way to make films in Scandinavia, because it's both a melodrama and more naturalistic, and it's kind of goes between those genres, and it also have a lot of strong feelings. And the Scandinavian cinema can be so boring. So this is more feelings, more passion.
Did you study cinema?
I studied documentary filmmaking 10 years ago, but then I was in art school, but then I quit. But I mostly learned myself by doing films. So this is my third feature-length film, but the first fiction. First I did a film called Maggie in Wonderland with Mark Hammarberg, a documentary that we did together with a woman from Kenya living in a small town in Sweden. Also about Maggie, who was a woman who people had a lot of ideas about, and how she was fighting and struggling to be herself. And then I made a film with my best friend and former lover Leone, who also wrote the script with me to Something Must Break. And that film called She Male Snails, and it was also about trans and about fantasies, about creating your own reality to survive. It doesn't bother me to be in a queer. I think it's good with both. This film has been in both queer and other film festivals. So.
Okay.
Yeah.